Thanks for joining us. This is our extended interview with Andrea Herrera, founder and president of Boxperience. The first part of this video is from our GNGF Live, which happens every other Wednesday over on our Facebook page. The second part here is the bonus extended interview, where we dive into more about how gifting, when done right, can really help a company stand out from your competition. If you already saw the live, I'll put a timestamp to the exclusive extended interview below. And be sure to like and subscribe so you can follow along with all of our great conversations on legal marketing and the business side of running a law firm. And to watch this video on your platform of choice, you can find everywhere we stream over at gngf.tv. Welcome to GNGF Live, your bi-weekly Ask the Experts about all things law firm marketing and business growth. I'm Mark Homer, author of Online Law Practice Strategies and founder of Get Noticed, Get Found. On this show, we focus on the business side of growing and running your law firm. So I'm really excited to have today's guest, Andrea Herrera, founder and president of Boxperience. In past interviews, like the one we did recently with Sonia Lakani, our guests have talked about the benefits of thank you cards and thank you gifts for their law firm. Well, my guest today has taken this to a whole new level and be able to help you make the gifting process a shared experience with your clients, prospects, and colleagues. Andrea Herrera will talk about how she had to pivot her high-end catering business quickly during the beginning of the coronavirus shutdowns. But what's really cool is that you get to learn how the pivot led to her being able to share her passions around shared experiences and now outside of the Chicagoland area. She can now offer the ability for law firms and other companies that are now unable to easily take clients out for a nice meal to still be able to create a great experience with them. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to our page, not just the video, so you can get updated when our next episode goes live. And of course, it never hurts for you to show just a little love and hit that like button on the video too. It really helps us with the Facebook and YouTube algorithms. We've got moderators in the chat, so of course, always ask questions and interact during the premiere. And if you're watching this in the future after the premiere, we do monitor the comments and we'll reach out to our guests to get any follow-up questions you have answered. That's because we love you all, and we love getting to meet you online and in person. So you can find a list of our upcoming webinars and events where we'll be speaking on our website over at gngf.com/events. And on weeks when we're not premiering an interview, we drop a video as part of our GNGF Tips series. These are more in-depth videos focusing on one topic at a time. Check it out on our YouTube page or by heading over to gngf.tv. You can watch our latest video, after this interview of course, at that link in the chat. Check them out. Like I said, we drop a new GNGF Tips video every other Friday. All right, let's get to the interview. Andrea, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark. I really appreciate it.
So we met, many years ago at being both fellow entrepreneurs at Entrepreneur Organization, an organization we're both big fans of, at an event. And at the time, you were running a high-end catering business out of Chicago and doing well. And then the coronavirus pandemic kind of came around here in kind of February, March, and I think you didn't just throw up your hands and say, oh, well, we'll just go into hibernation for a while, but you said, what do we do to go kind of fulfill the passions that you like doing and sharing, and basically pivoted your business. So tell me a little bit about what was going through your head, and 'cause it was kind of crazy, just as a fellow entrepreneur, and we have a lot of law firm owners that watch, so they're basically entrepreneurs whether they like it or not. Yeah.
Certainly. So yes, I've had a full service catering company in Chicago the last 25 years, and we foster relationship building at bread breaking events. And March, the pandemic hit Chicago, and I realized pretty quickly, having lived through 9/11 and 2008, that I needed to make some quick, drastic changes. So I laid off about 80% of my team and started thinking about what else was possible. And about a month later, we had been feeding people first responder meals and such, and I figured out that we were going to be on hibernation mode for catering for quite a while. And spoke to some friends who are awesome top salespeople, and they said they were going nuts not being able to connect with their clients, not take them out to lunch, take them to dinner, take them to a basketball game, because all that was off the table. And they just wanted some way to reach out to them. And thus Boxperience was born. My background is food and beverage and events and creating really memorable moments for people. And so I decided to take it virtual. And created these boxes that include food and drink and are super, super personalized, so that instead of a salesperson or entrepreneur calling their clients, you get your clients calling you.
Got it. Yeah, and one of the things you were known for, right, was at catering was not just come up with some, and show up with a bunch of food, but it was truly thinking through the experience for the client and then their, guests and everything. So like being able to take that unique experience and essentially, now you get to push it outside of Chicago too, right? You get to share your experiences all over, which is kind of cool.
One of those silver linings is that catering is a hyper-local business. And so while we were creating great experiences and fostering connection in communities here in Chicago, we've now found a way to take it virtual all over the country with top quality foods and wines, personalized messaging that allows you to really reach out and touch your client in a way that wasn't necessarily possible before.
Yeah, no, we loved it, and as soon as you told me about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got 5 or 6 people off the top of my head that I need to, like that. We travel all the time for conferences and stuff, and I would see them in different places, and so it's one thing to share a unique cocktail at a really cool spot in Vegas or something like that. But now, we didn't have those opportunities to do that, so this was a great way. So. That kind of ties your connection then between Amazing Edibles and Boxperience, right? Is this idea of a shared experience?
Definitely a shared experience kind of over food and drink. That's where I've spent the last 25 years of my career. So when I think of connecting with people, I think of going to dinner, going to lunch, sharing a great bottle of wine. And so being able to do that with people even when you're apart, I think is a really cool thing. And so we've started building these boxes around themes. There's a tapas box that has Spanish wine and Manchego cheese. There's a Kentucky Derby box with Moscow copper mugs and whiskey and ginger beer. And so whatever you shared with that client, we can kind of create an experience for you to, again, share with that client. And there's an audio or video card in the box that you do a personal message on, so that as they listen to that, you're literally in their hands saying, I'm so sorry we can't go to the game, but let's open this bottle of wine and meet at 4:00 and catch up. And so it gives you a way to really create an experience with that client that you otherwise wouldn't, because people are zoomed out. But if you're doing something fun with it and there's something really personal, that mug has their initials on it, all of a sudden you were really thoughtful. And if it's a couple, you put both sets of initials on it. So you're not only taking care of your client, you're taking care of their spouse or partner. And all of a sudden you were really thoughtful. The kind of clients I work with have relationship-based companies. And so just sending a box of oranges, while oranges are lovely, they probably don't match the value of the relationship. And sending a box of steaks, while they're tasty, are not very personal. So if you can put something in and there's some surprise and delight in this box, because they see their name on a wine and cheese board, on a cheese board that they put out, right, all of a sudden it is special. You were thoughtful to them without you having to take all day being thoughtful.
Right, and we loved it. We've sent these to a number of colleagues and partners that we worked with, or that whether people we speak with or do webinars with, or see at conferences. And people have helped us over the past year, and just kind of it was a thank you, yet a thank you, and it's too bad we don't get to see each other at the conference, but let's do something. And right away, over Twitter, and there's people are taking pictures and sending to me and saying, can't wait to grab that drink with Mark Homer, and then showing the picture of the box, the Kentucky Mules, and that kind of stuff. So it definitely kind of fostered that ability to kind of then get together on a Zoom call for a totally different, for not yet another webinar or something, but a reason just to connect and talk on a personal level like we would at a bar or at a restaurant.
I think there is something to surprise and delight that you can have sitting at a table with someone that's harder if you don't inspire it or spark it. So I think sending something that's really personal or special to someone all of a sudden gets them excited. You could send them an iPad, right? And it's a high value gift, but they're going to feel like, this is a little bit of a bribe. It's not super personal. There's a lot of iPads around, but you send a branding iron with their initials on it, with some barbecue sauce and some bourbon, saying, hey, let's get together, next conference is in Texas, drinks are on me. All of a sudden it's fun and it's energizing. So that's how I want to connect with my clients, over something that's fun and interesting and that builds our relationship, as opposed to as just a gift box that you take all the stuff out of the office, and share the cookies with everybody.
Right, which, and I've always, for years and years, and I think share a lot of these ideas, which is probably why I was so excited when we talked about this the first time, was I've shared the idea that you don't want to just send something that everybody eats and then disappears. If you can send anything that just kind of keeps, sticks around, and like we've done some cool, unique things over the years, and we'll talk about this hopefully later too about, like not with our logo, but just, something unique to them. Like we actually, because we're a marketing agency, create a lot of people's logos, so we like sending stuff with their logo on it that, hey, remember who created your logo, right? But, like really neat things, like I think we did, like a lot of law firms have that big room where they meet with their clients for the first or second time, and they always have coasters, they're really nice, like marble-looking coasters and stuff, put their logo on it, right, and send it. So we did some, unique things like that, but this idea of sending a gift box that, one, has an experience built into it, but also things that stick around, like copper mugs, like you mentioned, and not just a copper mug, but copper mug with people's initials on, right? So it just adds that extra personalization. That was fantastic.
Thank you. And I think that's it exactly. It's not that you couldn't buy copper mugs with your initials on it, but all of a sudden it was a gift to you. And so every time you pull that out, you're going to see it, and I'm going to think of you because you sent it to me. And it's fun. It's just a fun, delightful gift. I think it shows a level of thoughtfulness that goes beyond I went on Amazon, or I went on, Harry and David's and sent you a box of stuff. And so that there is an immediate experience of food and drink that you're enjoying then, and then something that's left behind that reminds them of you. So yeah, I think that's super important.
And you mentioned this kind of in passing a few minutes ago, but in addition to just a unique box, that's I consider like very custom, something that, from two people that actually called me and reached out like right after we sent these boxes. They're like, I've gotten a lot of crazy gifts during kind of the pandemic. This is the most unique, personalized gift I've received ever, and it was like, it was awesome. And
thank you, Mark.
But we got such great feedback from it. So I'm like, I gotta call Andrea, get her on, because like other people need to hear about this. This is so cool. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of gift boxes out there, right? There are a lot of things to send people. Again, I think it's about being personal, especially in the kind of field you're working with, attorneys and law firms. That's an incredibly personal relationship. You know what they eat, you know what they drink, you know where they travel. I had a client who was sending something to a client, and they had to postpone their honeymoon to France because, COVID. And so we sent them a box with French wine and cheeses, and he sent a message, and we do these really cool audio video cards so that you're literally in their hands. So when you open up the card, it's your voice saying, wow, I'm sorry we can't get together, but, open this great, French champagne, and, you'll be back in France before you know it. So there's just ways that you can make it ultra custom.
I thought the cards were like I've been in the business for a while. I mean, I guess I've seen somebody do like, the cards and stuff, but like combining that with the experience, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of places do that. Just even the kind of more generic boxes don't kind of give, what an easy way that they could personalize, but they don't. But so having that audio message, which is easy for anybody to do, I think we actually took a step further because we are familiar with video, but we did like a video message, and people were like, it was amazing. We opened it up, and there you are talking to me, and it was like, I didn't create one message for 5 people. I created one message for each person, talking about something we had done together before, or thanking them for something very specific, to add that kind of like personalization.
I think that the magic in this box, the juju, is that that's all combined, right? There's food, there's drink, there's a personal gift, there's a personal message from you. And yes, the video cards are super fun because while they've been around, most people don't see them much. And so it literally puts you in your client's hands. And I really insist that people do personal messages because I've done them for some association groups and companies that were sending out 10, 20, 140. And they're like, oh, well, I can just record message. And I'm like, you're wasting this opportunity.
Right.
If you can say the person's name and say how you know them and why you know them and what you're missing about them, they're going to hold on to this. I had someone whose kid was trying to figure out how to jerry-rig it to make another recording. I'm like, well, I can tell you how to do that, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had... Actually, that was one of our comments from one of our colleagues that we sent this box to. She's like, oh, yeah, my daughter saw this, and then she immediately was, like, trying to figure out how to, like, plug the USB into, like, hack the video and stuff, and... So it was turned into like that was an unintentional experience we just gave their kid, right? It's kind of cool. So
One other thing that was kind of fun is one of my clients, because everyone's remote, for the video cards, we can do up to 8 minutes of video. And so they had 4 different leaders in the company each do a message that we threaded together so that all 4 of them were on the video, even though they were, all working remote from home. So there's all sorts of fun ways we can make it really custom and personal.
Yeah, and we're recording this right now, and when we stream live, and we'll be here pretty soon. So this is like gifting time right now. I mean, like I'm big on Thanksgiving gifts, right? Because I think you kind of beat the rush on the holiday Christmas gifts. So get out there early, get the Thanksgiving gift. Say be thankful for that. But you got a lot of great gifting coming on. So I didn't think about that. Like instead of doing the generic message for everybody, but really trying to do a unique message, or if there's
multiple. Why you're grateful for them, why you're grateful for this partnership, why you're thankful. We have boxes that say grateful and say thankful. The lids of the box has kind of a simple invocation. Let's connect, grateful, thankful, joyful. Inside you put the client's name so that, again, it's very personal. That box becomes a keepsake, and they put their kids, Matchbox cards or their gardening tools. And then, I'm sorry, yes, Thanksgiving is thankful and grateful. Holiday season, we're seeing joy. We really suggest Thanksgiving because otherwise you get lost in that December rush of packages. I mean, you think there were a lot of packages in previous years. Everybody's ordering everything on Amazon right now. So I think December is going to be crazy. We also have created a canceled 2020 box for New Year's that has champagne and caviar and a 2020 with a circle and a line through it, because I think while some people have done really well in 2020, a lot of people are ready to jump into 2021. So we're actually thinking that there's going to be a lot of Happy New Year boxes and people ready to jump into the future. So we can do 1 box for a client, or we can do 500 boxes and take care of every single one of your clients and make sure they know that you love them.
Yeah, and if again, a lot of law firms listening, right? So if they have a few partners in the law firm, I never thought about that. Like you can record and thread a message together from all the partners that can be unique. Whether it's for clients, for referral partners, right? I mean, that's a big one. Is referral partners are great. But lawyers, I mean, you talk about personalization, right? Like lawyers know like the best and worst part of most people's life, right? Like not anything in the middle, but definitely the best and worst. So like here's a way to kind of like really kind of connect on that personal level.
We've done a couple for people who had babies and put in champagne and like 3 champagne flutes, stemless champagne flutes with the baby's initials and the parents' initials. Now, obviously, you have to know that person, but if that client is yours and just had a baby, there's something called Inner Circle. John Ruhlin is the master of gifting, and so I have studied him, and so he talks about Inner Circle, and so touching people's spouses, touching their executive assistants.
Right.
Executive assistant gets you through to the boss faster than anybody else. If you can send something to someone's home and it doesn't only have your initials, but it has your wife's initials as well, or husband's, all of a sudden it's not you who get taken to every game and out to fancy steak dinners every night. You've kind of included their family. And I know when someone does something for my son, it's more significant than when they do something for me. So if you can kind of include their inner circle and the other people who are important to them, and attorneys generally have that information, without getting creepy, don't send things to people's small children. You can really, I think, have a huge impact with your client.
Right, and I want to get. I have a box here that you'd sent.
Do you?
I want to actually show it, and I waited. So I waited to unbox it here. I even my wife opened it up, and she's like, "This is so cool." I'm like, "Don't touch it. I want to do it on video." So I have this awesome
Let's
box.
see.
So yeah, let me pull this up here for everybody. And there we go. This thing is, and this is that's a legit heavy duty box. I mean, this is not light. It's all wood. Let's see if the camera can see here. So we got
crate made in Idaho.
Yep, got the Grateful, like you said, different. This was on the front of it, and then my name was on the back, which was cool. Kids liked the box, that was for sure. And then there was the custom message, right? So if I open this up, people would be able to hear your voice.
I am so.
So that was great. Nice personal message and saying, enjoy this. I think this is the Italian dinner box, which was awesome. But here's what I loved. I mean, how cool is this? I mean, that's like heavy duty, like a marble or something.
It's an acacia wood and marble cheese board, and so that's going to stick around in someone's house. They're going to hold on to it because it has their name. It doesn't have your company's name. It doesn't have my company's name. It has their name. And every time they pull that out when they have cheese and crackers with friends over, they're going to say, Mark sent me this awesome cheese board. And so you have permanence.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many goodies in here. I mean, there's a bottle of wine, which always love wine.
Send wine all over the country because a lot of people enjoy a bottle of wine every now and again, which is rare. Most gift companies and boxing companies cannot ship wine and liquor, so that is actually another difference between our company and other companies.
Yeah, you can send wine to wherever it's allowed to be sent.
Wine to 46 states. We can do hard liquor in the state of Illinois.
Illinois, and then
and non-alcoholic boxes all over the country.
I was just going to say, because we ordered a couple boxes. I knew somebody, two of the people we sent it to, that not drinkers, and so we were able to send I think you replaced this.
We replaced that with an aged balsamic vinegar.
Yeah.
So actually, same value as the bottle of wine because nice vinegars can cost a lot, but it fits with the theme, right? It goes with risotto and.
Look at this. We got some meats. We got. The risotto, everything's in here. I mean, I have my whole meal I get to go create and experience, and then give you a call and
cook it tonight.
There we go. Actually, might not be a bad idea. But then, give you a call over a glass of wine, say thank you, and then let my wife say thank you, and enjoy and have that experience. And again, like afterwards, I have this amazing box that's got my name on it. It says gratitude, and this. I just love this. I mean, this is going to be sitting on our shelf for a while and pull down whenever we have company. It's so cool. And of course, everybody's going to ask me where I got it, and I get to talk about Boxperience again, right? So that works for you, I guess, as well. But love it, and I know we probably are running out of time for our Facebook Live, but I want to make everybody be able to see that. But I do have like 3 or 4 more questions. If you don't mind sticking around, we can post maybe the extended interview up on YouTube on Friday.
That would be great. I'd be happy
to. I wanted to hear more about kind of like the gifting for a company and without logos and stuff, so we can talk more about that. But before we wrap up, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm Andrea, and my company is Boxperience.net. So you can go to Boxperience.net. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and at www.boxperience.net.
Awesome. Okay. Well, bear with me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. So be sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook page so you can get notified when our next episode goes live. We have new interviews about law firm marketing and the business side of running your firm here every other Wednesday. We're going to keep going here in the GNGF studios, and you can watch the full extended interview with Andrea this Friday over on our YouTube channel. We'll be diving into a lot more detail about how gifting can enhance the perception of your law firm with your clients, partners, and colleagues. We'll see you then. Thanks for sticking with me, Andrea.
My pleasure, Mark.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about, because we've talked a little bit about it, but how does somebody really, thinking about gifting in general, so not just maybe Boxperience versus other, but how does a company stand out using kind of gifting?
Sure. Well, I think it's really important to be thoughtful about what your gift is. You can throw spaghetti at the wall, but it doesn't matter. So I think doing something that represents your company, what you're doing, makes sense. I was doing something for a company whose name is Blue Diamond. So we put blue stuff in the box. We put Blue Diamond almonds in the box. We put things that would subtly hint at that person. And I think it's really important not to put your own brand name in the box. Once it has your name on it, it's an advertisement. Like if you send me a copper mug that says GNGF, I mean, I might look at it for a minute, but I'm probably not going to pull it out at a dinner party. Right. But if you sent me a mug that says AH on the box, I'm going to be, this is so cool. And it feels like a gift as opposed to a marketing. Sorry, I know you're a marketing company, but it seems like a marketing idea that's really just a piece of marketing and promotional
Correct. That's
item.
The kind of stuff you pick up at a trade booth when you're walking by. That's fine.
Again, not personal, not thoughtful. So I think if you're going to spend time and money gifting, you should make it personal and thoughtful. That's the short answer.
So I'll roll into the whole no logo thing. I think that's something kind of new for a lot of people because everybody like is used to sending out that kind of bulk. Here's our logo of stuff, and then there's times where we will insert some logos in unique ways of something like, oh, but it's not the personal stuff. It's not like I totally agree. I'm gonna pull out this cheese board because it says Homer on it, not because it has Boxperience.
Right.
So and show that off and but I will remember where it came from, right?
Exactly. We're doing some work with associations, and that's a slightly different thing. If you're a member of an association, we mentioned earlier in our conversation, we're both members of EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization. And so members of that organization tend to be proud of that affiliation.
Right.
So when we're doing a box, we may put EO on one side of it, but the other side, I insist, has the client's name. Because it's nice that it says EO, but then you're going to flip the lid over on the wine box and you're going to see your name on it,
right.
Or yours and your spouse's name on it. And you'll remember that it's from EO because EO sent it to you, but you want it to feel more personal. With our boxes, we really, again, encourage, if you want to put something in that's a marketing piece, I'll put a little marketing piece in the box. But I think if you put too much in, again, it just becomes a promotional product. And nobody needs that. We all have too much stuff, right? Everyone Marie Kondo'd their whole lives last year. If it doesn't bring you joy, it goes. Something with your name on it. I mean, Shakespeare wrote, the sweetest sound in the language is your own name. Right. So if you can do something that's personal as opposed to, right. And even with the company, if I'm giving it to you, I don't want to put GNGF on it. I want to put MH.
Right. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting because I'm like, well, how do I figure this out? And it's like, like one of your team was just like, well, you can go on their Facebook page. And it's like, sure enough, on Facebook, it said, spouse and then the name. And so I'm like, oh, I now know the initials of that person's name. And like, like this client, like they know I know them, pretty well. But, the fact that I knew their clients or their spouse's initials, like that was so cool. And it's like, well, I just looked it on Facebook, like also give me a secret away now. Sorry.
No, you look like a rock star. You look like you've really been thoughtful. And we will help people with that on occasion. But again, you can also talk to people's executive assistants. They'll probably tell you what someone's spouse's name or partner's name are if you ask.
And so one of the things I loved about kind of navigating the Boxperience, I think you sent me a PDF at one point. I know you have everything on your website and stuff now, but we were going through the PDF was that I find myself I consider myself a little bit creative. I mean, we do run a marketing agency, and I should have that kind of skill set. But sometimes it's like I'm overwhelmed by the creativity, right? So I want to be so unique and personal and customized for somebody that I just get stuck, and I end up just not gifting because it's like, oh, now it's too much work. So I was able to kind of go through and pick out, and there were certain people where it just like jumped out at me. Oh, I know that's for this person, and that's for this person. And I mean, I think out of the 5 or 6 I sent initially, I think I did 4 different boxes or something, right? I mean, it was so cool that I was able to customize something. But so first of all, like, how do you come up with these really cool ideas that kind of work and that still felt personal to that connection with somebody? And then are you continuing to grow those?
Yes. So we started, as I mentioned earlier, this was a COVID-created company that came out of the pandemic. And I've been in the food and beverage industry most of my life. And so I have ate and drank food and wine in a lot of countries around the world. So appreciate French wine and Italian wine and Spanish wine and California wine. And you eat and drink different things in those places. So part of what I looked at was regionally, what sort of places and what kind of cheese would you have and what kind of meat and what kind of side dishes and stuff do you have with that. But then I also looked at experiences. I was really trying to replicate the experience that you share with your client. So whether it's going for coffee, there's a coffee box that's got a French press and some coffee and some pastries and some flavored syrups, because maybe you go to coffee once a month with your client. Or there's the Italian restaurant that I sent you. And when we were at a conference in, I don't even remember where, for EO, they had an Italian dinner one night. So that felt significant to me. And I go, oh, he'll remember that. When there were 400 of us in the room and we all had pasta. That makes sense. We've added sporting events, right? Lots of people take clients to games. So being able to tie into that. And so I want it to feel personal to your 8 different clients. You found things that felt personal to them. But I guess, to be honest, these are kind of universal personal experiences. Who you have breakfast with or coffee, or they love dogs, or they love,
There was health related kind of things. There was
there's a health box for the guy who runs marathons. And so we tried to kind of tie into those different experiences or interests of people in a wide enough brand that people could kind of grab onto something that that referenced that client. But we also can customize. If you say, for Thanksgiving, we want to send something to all of our best clients and we want to show them that we're thankful or we're grateful for them, we're going to start with that name on the box. And then we're going to say, okay, what's important to you? What do you do? Well, you do a lot of trade shows, Mark. I think about happy hour as being something that you probably share with a lot of your clients. So how can we build that so when they see this, they think of you and that relationship? And so we would build a custom box around trade show happy hours that made people think of you or think of the time that you've shared together. So we've done custom boxes. We've done Chicago boxes that people have sent to clients out of town. I have a client in Michigan that has employees all over the country. So we did Michigan boxes for their onboarding that have Michigan cherries and Zingerman granola bars and cookies. And we just want to be able to do things that represent you. So if you call us and talk to us, we can ask you a half a dozen questions and drill down to what's most important and then come up with an idea and sample for you that will replicate, that will represent you and your company.
And that's really unique, by the way. I mean, you don't call Harry and David, I guess, and kind of say, I know you have this on page 92 and this on page 25, but I want to combine them and I want to add this other thing, from Cincinnati. You've got the experience, right? But your experience is meeting with somebody and creating this amazing experience, for their guests at like an event. That's like that's the way you've kind of approached things, I think.
Yes, I think it is more personal. To be really transparent, when I was creating this business, this is not a $29.95 gift box, but the people who have relationship-based businesses, the value of that relationship tends to be worth more than that. You can't send them a dozen Dunkin' Donuts and feel like that's a real gift to someone. So these boxes are equivalent to probably taking someone to lunch at a steakhouse. So it's a nice lunch, but that's who these clients are to you. Right. So if you start there, I think what sets us apart is there's a ton of personalization and customization that you can't get anywhere else. You don't get video cards and 3 different things engraved in a box in most gift boxes. Right. And a lot of things that are personalized or customized look like it's a white chalk pen, like that a 6-year-old wrote on that mug. These are engraved by a jeweler. We have an artisan that does all the wood engraving. So it's super personal because I want this to represent you. I taste all the wines that we use because I want to make sure that if you open that wine at dinner tonight, you don't go, why did she send me this Planck? Like, it's not Opus One, but it's a nice wine that you'll enjoy with dinner. I want to make sure, like, I go to my parties when I have clients and we have weddings and we have events. I'm there because I'm proud of the work that we do and the food that we serve and the experience that we're creating. And so I'm doing the same thing as I'm talking to entrepreneurs around the country. I know that you're trusting me to represent you to your client. And if I do that well, you're going to come back. You ordered 8 or 10 boxes for some clients. If you get great response, if your client picks up the phone and calls you, right now, nobody wants to hear from salespeople. If you're doing really well, you're too busy to talk to salespeople. And if your business has been negatively affected by COVID, someone wants money out of my pocket, like, ah. So if you can send these clients a really personal gift that is of value and they can see it's of value, when they open this box, it doesn't look like an Amazon Harry and David's basket that got sent to 10,000 people this week. It looks like it was personally done for them. What they do is pick up the phone and call. They email, they call, and at $200, it's not a bad door opener, and it's not an unreasonable amount of money to spend on a client who maybe is a large client for your company or firm. And you would have taken them to lunch, so it's kind of a similar expense.
Yeah, and I look at it as not just clients, right? Like for, again, referral partners, especially in for law firms. I mean, they get a lot of business through referrals and referral partners. Mm-hmm. So whether that be like a financial advisor, like providing some clients to an estate planning attorney or a chiropractor with a, an accident attorney or something. Like, there's a lot of referral partners. And this is a great, typically, again, you would have been going to dinner, you would have been playing golf or whatever, with these referral partners over the years.
You probably would have spent more on that meal or that,
Correct.
golf outing. And so this is saying, I do appreciate what you did for me. I do appreciate our relationship. And this is a way in this day and age when it's a little bit harder to get together in person, that I can share that with you. And it's not impossible, right? I'm not saying you can't go to lunch, but even if you can go to lunch, the other person's company may say they can't meet with clients, or you may not want to meet with people even though they're open, or you can't fly to where they're at because there's a 2-week quarantine.
Yep.
It's a crazy time, and I think the next 6 months or a year, there's going to be a lot less travel and in-person meetings and opportunities to connect. So I think that setting yourself apart from everybody else is really important. And as I said, I'm kind of staking my reputation that you're going to look good to your clients, because then you're going to call me back. I've been in business 25 years. I have tons of clients that have been with me 20 years because I make sure that it's good and they're taken care of. And then I don't have to keep selling. The phone rings, which is awesome.
Yeah. We've done interviews with a lot of other law firm owners and some really interesting kind of like creative, cutting edge lawyers out there. And one we did recently. Like Daniel, you probably tell me like it's a few weeks ago. I don't even know, like maybe a month or so. But she talked about like how she goes, to be frank, Mark, even though you do marketing, she goes, I didn't spend a lot of time in marketing in the beginning. I just said thank you a lot, whether it was like thank you cards, thank you small gifts, little Starbucks, and then I would learn what they like. Oh, they like this wine. Oh, let me go find that one wine that you can only get from this one store in town. And then she's like, I just grew my whole business because people just appreciated that I thanked them enough that they would just keep sending me more business, and I just grew it all that way. That's how I initially, before I even had money for marketing, right? I just did a lot of gifting, and so this stuff works.
It does. I think saying thank you, like for my catering company, we still write handwritten thank you notes for every order because people don't get handwritten pieces of mail. In the boxes, we have these audio and video cards, but some people don't want to do audio video, so we have beautiful handmade paper that we'll handwrite notes on so that there can still be something really personal and of value and tangible to hold in touch. I think there's a lot that is virtual these days. I think it's really nice to be able to give someone something that they can touch and feel and hold.
Yeah, love it. Well, with that, I think we'll wrap up on that note because that is a good way to succinct it. And you mentioned John Rowland, and so I want to make sure he's got a great book that we'll get in the notes as well.
His book is awesome. It's called Giftology, and he really does that same thing where he believes that you should be, doing things, thanking people as a way to market. So I know that you are already doing that. So
if somebody grabs that book and reads it, you'll see how this fits into a lot of that framework anyway. So this is perfect. So we'll put that in the show notes as well. Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining me again, Andrea, and thanks for sticking with me on the longer set of questions I had. And this conversation was awesome. It's always good to see you as virtually as it is in person. So.
Well, wonderful, Mark. I really appreciated being here today and look forward to a great and grateful holiday season. Thank you again.
All right, thanks.
Hey, what's up? I'm Josh. Thanks so much for joining us. If you feel like you learned something today, think of how beneficial it would be to chat with myself or another one of our marketing consultants one-on-one. Go ahead and visit our website to schedule your free consultation. It only takes a minute.